I ain't got time to mark this motherfucker. Here we go again. We can't hear anybody. Nobody can talk to anybody.
You guessed it, Pressure Points with your two favorite hosts. I'm D. This is Bush Boy AJ. We're coming at you with Season 6, Episode 15, the Conspiracy episode. We're switching it up today with some space lasers. For extra content, find us on Instagram and Patreon, at PointSoPressure. Strap on those aluminum hats, and let's get to it, cuties.
Well, turn the fucking thing off, you dumbass.
God, I got my fucking dick hard, bro.
I
Damn.
got it all in.
That was the sexiest intro
That
I've
was
ever
so
done
good.
in my fucking
We've
life.
definitely ruined it with this, but that was so good.
Oh, that was so hot. I didn't even care.
No, that was great. We're done. We're done with the episode.
Yeah,
Thanks for
yeah.
coming.
Fuck, that's it. It's
That's it.
only downhill from here. Oh, my
yeah.
God. We finished, and both of us are just like, oh, my God. We
I'm over
did
here
it. We
panting.
fucking peaked. Now is the
Good luck.
beginning of the end.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome back.
Welcome. We've had a busy weekend.
Yeah, it feels like it's been a lot longer than a week
Yeah,
since
right.
we last recorded.
It's like, oh shit, we're 2 weeks behind.
Yeah.
Fuck.
We had a very
No.
busy week.
Yeah, we went camping. In
Yeah.
the snow, real
Went up-
snowy.
Went up to the ye old cabin.
Yeah, up in Idaho.
It was a good spot. It was
Yeah.
icy, but it was so fucking beautiful out there.
So
God
nice.
damn.
Pissing in the snow kind of sucked after the fourth, fifth time. After the 30-pack that we're just
Yeah.
polishing off right
To be
now.
fair, you pissed about triple the amount of times everybody else did.
Combined, yeah.
Because every time you would drink like a quarter of a beer, you'd be like, "I'll go pee."
Oh yeah,
Okay,
that's just me. My bladder
It's just
doesn't.
like,
I don't
oh
have a
my
bladder.
God.
I just
Are
pee.
you sure you don't have diabetes right now?
I'm sure.
You're
Surprisingly,
good.
I
It was
taste my
just-
piss every time to make sure
it
it's
was-
more salty than sweet.
It was so funny on Friday night because it was like every 5 minutes, I gotta go take a piss.
I
We're
do.
just like,
I
what
pee
the
a
fuck?
lot. Like I'm telling you, I think something's wrong, but I'm too afraid to check. No,
Yeah, same.
But
That's how I
yeah.
live my life.
So I just do not. I just pee a lot. Like I can hold it if I'm distracted, but if I've been drinking, and I'm just gonna focus on
that's
it,
what
and
it
it's just
is.
gonna get worse and worse and worse.
That's fair.
So I just
Good.
try to stay ahead of it.
No sweat.
But man, no, it was fun. We
was a
played some
really good
games. My wife even just like 2 hours ago was like, "All right, let's go down and play Baldur's Gate again."
Really?
Yeah. So
Damn.
I want to play that
okay.
again. That was good. Now that I'm like, okay, I kind of understand this a little bit more.
As you go, it gets a little bit more like,
all right.
like once you play through a few of them, it's like, okay,
you
I
kinda
fuck
pick
with
it up.
this. Yeah, you can come up with like better strategies and everything. You start looking for like more specific items. Sorry, what I'm referencing is a game called Betrayal at Baldur's Gate. There's an original game from like I think the OG was like in the 80s. But they have Betrayal at House on the Hill, which is like a horror themed
Exploration.
like haunted mansion game, basically. Really, really like off the wall. Replayability is
amazing.
enormous. But they have a Dungeons and Dragons themed one that's Betrayal at Baldur's Gate that I took up there. And now it's still really fucking cool.
Oh, so much fun.
If you like board games and you don't know about them, check those games out and make friends and play it with them.
Yeah. We'll play it with you.
Yeah.
If you live within 10 square miles of
Yeah.
this spot
And
here that we are. We're
if
not going to tell you
you're-
where that is, though.
if
Send
you're
us
not a
your
fucking
address.
rules goblin.
Well, yeah, that's right. Like me? No.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, dude.
No, it was a blast. We had a
grand
blast.
old time
I
out
ate
there.
a lot.
Mm-hmm. It was good.
Fuck yeah.
We had probably the fanciest hamburgers I've ever had
Oh
in
my
my
god,
life.
they were like
Was it
prime rib.
prime
hamburgers?
rib, ground beef, I think.
Yeah.
They were good though.
I'm gonna go upstairs and make the last
Yeah.
one tonight.
Fry that fucker up.
I'm gonna burn it. I'm gonna cook it in the microwave.
Do it.
I'm gonna pour a cup of water on it.
Sous vide it.
Yup.
Sous vide it, but with hot water.
Oh, perfect.
Like directly onto it.
Just from the faucet. I'll just turn it on hot all the way, put it underneath till it's done cooking.
You have a new water heater, so it doesn't have all those contaminants and shit.
Yeah, I'll
like
turn
old
it up.
ones do. You're fine.
Yeah. Totally fine. But these
Jesus.
beers this is going to make for a burpy episode. If I just stop talking at one point, it's because I'm leaning away and burping.
No, you're going to burp directly, and I know how you
No,
are. you
I
piece of
won't,
shit.
because I know a lot of people who listen to podcasts. Well, just a lot of people in general, and there's overlap to those people with people who listen to podcasts who cannot stand like the sniffing,
Yeah.
the mouth noises and stuff. Which don't listen to season 1 if you're one of those people.
Yeah. Also, just don't listen to when we do Patreon stuff, because you do your big old cough every single time before you do Patreon games. Every time.
Do I?
Yep. Every time.
That's subconscious.
You go every fucking time. Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never done that before in my life.
Yeah. No, I don't even know who that is.
Yeah.
Must be a different guy. It's an AI rendering of you
Yeah.
that I slip in there.
So we drove home pretty early this morning.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful drive that you guys slept through.
Fucking
You guys
hell yeah, dude.
zonked out. That was awesome.
We slept like shit last night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is that? You cold?
Yes, and I think we just couldn't get comfortable.
Yeah. Ready to get
Yeah.
home.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally get it.
It was like every 30 minutes I was just like awake. It's like, God
Yeah.
damn it. But
So yeah, it was beautiful. I took a little time lapse of it. I'll show it to you later.
yeah, dope.
Through some of the canyons. But we got home real early. I took a fat ass nap.
Same. I
Took a
slept for like
fat-
4 fucking hours.
Same.
I woke up at like 1:30.
Yeah. I took a fat ass fucking shower.
Same.
And I've just been playing Big Ambitions. That's the game I'm currently playing.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Have you seen that one?
No.
All right. Quick video game talk, and then we'll get into the real
Yeah.
episode. It's a life/business sim where you're in New York. Your family member has died. I don't remember who. And your uncle is like, hey, here's 10 grand. I'll set you up with a cheap apartment. Come to New York. I'm a business magnate. Maybe follow in my footsteps type thing.
Okay.
So you have to try to build up businesses to try to get money. Like, you can get a job, but you won't go anywhere,
Yeah,
grow
won't
your
be
wealth or
as-
anything.
Okay.
So you have to take out loans, build businesses, stock them, and supply them, which is a real bitch and a half. And I'm automating everything with employees the second I can, which means they cut into most of the profit.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Damn.
I'm trying to save up for pallet shelves so I can start importing shit, because the dock's right down the road.
See, here's the thing.
Ah.
You gotta pull a Google and an Amazon on them. Silicon Valley, that whole thing. And once you get like you have a record-breaking year,
Fire.
you have
everyone.
your big old year. It's fucking massive. In January, fire 65% of your staff.
Well, right now.
And then you'll have a bigger
yeah.
year, but then you take that profit and you shift it into a different company. Don't do this if you're an actual fucking magnate and you're not in a video game and you have millions of dollars to throw around. Don't follow my advice. Just
this is shitty.
don't be a piece of shit. But that's what you got to do. You got to fuck over the working man in the virtual world.
I can't find there's an area for business valuation. I can't find it, and I just haven't Googled it yet. And as soon as I do, once my businesses build up a valuation, once I've had them for a year or so, then I'm gonna see about doing exactly that, firing them and then selling it, and then renting out that building space, because that company's going to go out because they don't have any employees, and I don't think the game is smart enough to do that.
Yeah.
So then I'll rent out that place again and put in a better store. Because right now I have a fucking a gift shop, and I have a burger and fries place,
Oh, okay.
and they're doing okay. But I really want to make a jewelry store because there are no jewelry shops in my area. I did market research in this game. If I did this amount of research that I'm spending in this game in real life, I could actually open a jewelry shop.
Yeah. Except for the fact that you'd start out with a loan of $10,000.
Well, yeah. I
Man,
could go to a bank.
When we have a fucking face reveal in 6 years, people are going to listen to these episodes and be like, oh my God, this makes so much sense. You're going to see our faces and be like, yeah, these are the two fucks that would play a factory game and grow a business game.
Yeah, 100%. And then not create a factory and not produce anything and not build a business.
Oh no.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
God,
It's gonna be real bad.
There are
when we
no
expose
shops,
our faces, but
the
we're
display
here for it.
cases, not even the stock. The display cases cost $10,000 each. I'm making like $800 a day, which is a lot in
You should
real
just
life,
leave all
but
the
not in the
jewelry
video
out
game.
and make it all fake
Yeah,
jewelry.
I'll just put it on the floor.
Yeah.
And then take out
So
insurance.
what you
on
should
it.
do is you should put out fake jewelry and then get into like the criminal underworld of like jewelry theft, and then start stealing your fake jewelry,
It's not that kind of game.
circulating that in the black market, and talk about, yo, this place is really easy to rob. People keep robbing you, but then you start, like, people see the headline. Any press is good press. People are like, oh yeah, those guys get robbed all the time. They have a limited supply. Boom.
Boom. Now, if it's an alpha, and I would 100% buy the game again if the developers were like, yeah, now we're adding counterfeit goods because it's a shop in New York. Of course, you'd have access to counterfeit, like Gucci,
That's fair.
counterfeit jewelry and shit. Like, if they added that, like a black market type thing for supplying, where it's like shittier quality, but you know you get it for
That's
real
where it's
cheap.
at.
I would do that. I would buy it again. I would
Fair.
donate 1 month of Patreon. No, I wouldn't.
No. I won't
It's not
allow
all
it.
mine.
Yeah, fuck
You
off.
won't allow it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
PayPal goes to my account. You can get fucked.
Fuck. All right.
Yeah, now that we talked about your video game for as long as we talked prior to that.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh,
It was real fun.
So what you got this
yeah,
week?
Camping was fun. Okay, to come fully around to it was I spent the day driving home, napping, playing a video game, and then I had to come up with an episode.
That's fair.
And I have a lot of them.
It's generally like every single week for us.
Yeah. But it was worse this week.
Yeah.
I have, like, there's this lady I want to do an episode on, and she's like this anarchist from the late 1800s who was involved in, she was like a Russian who was involved in the Red versus White War in Russia, like between the Bolsheviks and the Trotskys, I think. I don't
I think so.
remember.
Sounds right.
Something like that. And then she was like, wow, this system of communism fucking sucks. She then moved to America and was like, wow, this system of capitalism fucking sucks. I guess I'm going to be an anarchist now. And she was like close to somebody who assassinated a president in the U.S.
God,
and
spoiler
she was,
alerts. Save it for an exclusive.
I'm not.
Damn.
I'm not gonna. I don't know. It's too complex. It's too complex at this point. If I get the mental energy to do it, I will. But this is a good teaser.
Give it for after when you graduate.
Yeah, give it. It's definitely
it's a good
earmarked.
post
it was a lady,
graduation episode.
And she was publishing like books and pamphlets and shit
Okay.
in, you know, in a time period where women couldn't even vote yet.
Yeah.
And she was influencing all these dudes to kind of like
Towards anarchy.
to bomb shit. And you know what? The more I'm learning about anarchy, the more I'm realizing how it's been propagandized by the U.S.
Of course
government
it has.
since the
Of
70s.
course.
Like, it's from my basic understanding without actually just looking it up. It's like we can self-govern. We just don't need a government.
Yeah.
Like, cool. It's not unstructured. It's not anarchy as you would use it as like, you know, to describe something. Like if something is anarchy, it's, you know, pandemonium. It's crazy. That's not what it's like at all.
Yeah, it would be like
It's
if
totally
we were
propagandized.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's the
just
government trying not to work themselves out of jobs. It would be like us doing an ad for the last podcast on the right
Yeah.
at the end of our episodes.
Or-
we'd just be pushing a rhetoric that pushes fans away from us
My
kind of thing,
least
yeah.
favorite murderer.
my unfavorite killer. Yeah, don't go
That's
listen
really
to
good.
them.
Don't
Yeah,
listen to
fuck
them.
those guys.
In
And
fact,
if you like them, you
listen
should
to us
go
too.
on to their
episodes,
you should-
comment,
yeah.
and send people to us.
Yeah, you should be like, hey, this was my favorite episode on their subreddits, and then link us.
Hey, on if you're a true fan, then you're gonna comment on every other podcast that you come across a link to our show.
Yeah, what fucking TOS are we violating by doing this?
I mean,
Fuck
yeah,
off.
none of them.
Not a single one.
Not-
I didn't
none of
sign
them.
shit.
I didn't sign shit. I mean, we did.
I don't know
I mean,
what the
no,
fuck you're
I didn't.
talking
We
about, yeah.
didn't sign shit. I
It's
was
not
under
a fucking
duress
thing, yeah.
when I signed that. I had been drinking when I made this account. So, you know.
I did it so that they wouldn't ask me to suck their dick. So
Yeah.
the hosting service
Under duress,
Yeah.
yeah.
So It wasn't truly.
Hold on, don't talk
consensual.
shit about our hosting service. I
I didn't say their name. They don't know anything yet.
I mean, yeah, they're not going to listen to this.
God, I don't even listen to this. They're not going to
Yeah.
listen to this.
Then I was going through a bunch of 70s like politics and protest groups. Like I learned that there was a White Panther Party
That makes sense.
because one of the co-founders of the Black Panther Party was like, "Hey, if white people want to actually help us, you should form a White Panther Party."
Oh, I was
And
thinking it was
exactly.
I was thinking it was a KKK.
There was an entire
conglomerate
section.
that was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you're the Black Panthers? Well, we're the White Panthers."
There was a whole section about how they had to clarify all the time that they were not
we're
an
not
alt-right
anti.
group.
We're not
They
anti.
were no, we're anti-racist, we're anti-capitalist, we are the Black Panther Party, but with white people. Like, it really didn't work well because it sounds like
It does.
part of the KKK. Yeah, and that's really why it kind of.
Should have just
petered
called it
out.
the supporting cast Panthers.
There you
We're
go.
doing way better.
Yeah, Panther
The
allies.
60s and 70s are a really cool time in American history.
Yeah, and a lot of people, just building bombs in their basement, like the Weathermen, creating the Days of Rage in Chicago, and then the Chicago 7, which was the Chicago 8. And that's
They had some cool shit.
the only thing I'm going to talk about the Chicago 7 and 8 because I want to do a full episode on it. Is basically they got these 8 people in for like traveling across the border with the intent to start a riot and dumb shit like that. And then one guy was, I'm gonna represent myself. And he kept calling the judge like a fascist pig. He called the cops pigs and shit.
Jesus.
And then he would say when the judge was like, "Hey, I'm holding you in contempt of court," he would be, "Oh, you're gonna do that? You're gonna stifle my right to represent
Jesus,
myself."
wow.
It's not even obviously, like, there are consequences to insulting a judge, but because he had the right to defend himself, he couldn't be silenced. So the judge physically had him bound, gagged, and chained.
What the fuck?
And there were like 3 times that the jury came in for like 3 days and saw him like that, despite him trying to defend himself as his own lawyer. And the jury were so shaken by the fact that this dude is just like chained up during his own trial that it started to influence the jury, and he got off on a mistrial.
Man,
So
you
he
should
all
really,
charges were
really
dropped.
stop fucking killing future episodes.
No,
in this
come on,
one.
these are tiny little bits of it. Like, it was very like one of these guys
tiny
wrote a
bits
bunch
of it. I'm just saying.
books. Hey, I'm sprinkling breadcrumbs to to make it seem enticing when in a year you hear about this story.
Yeah, you're gonna forget about this episode and you'll be like, "Oh, this is the first time this has been mentioned."
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I did that with the Typhus Boys. I mentioned it at the beginning of the season or end of last season on accident and spoiled the whole thing.
Yeah.
But I waited long enough for you to forget.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna remember anything
Exactly.
from each week unless it was
Unless
an
it was your
I
episode.
did, yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
and then it
thanks.
takes 2 weeks to forget.
Yeah. All right. So pull up your phone and watch the Pressure Points story. And
I fucking asked you if I needed to go to that page. You stupid
it should be on the top.
asshole.
It should be on the top.
Okay, I did. It's this.
Watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about today. Do you
Yeah, I
like it?
saw
Do you
it.
like all the little emotes?
Yeah. Yeah, I saw it like
Uh,
2 hours ago
yeah,
when it was
posted. Yeah, so, if you were also on our Instagram, then you would know the day before, sometimes 2 days before, what we're going to be talking about. If you like teasers.
Yeah.
Um,
And before you even get into anything, if you want additional content, I know I say it in the intro, but if you want an extra episode a month, we have Sloppy Seconds. AJ is working on a series called Voices. We looked 47 pieces of content on our Patreon.
bonus.
Go check it out. If you can't
you're
afford
interested.
if you can't afford it, don't worry about it. It's all good. At least click around on there, take a look at it.
That does help a lot,
Any
actually.
traffic on it helps us out.
If you can't afford it, then go to any large podcast, comment, and get people to ours.
Yeah, just refer them.
Shill to us. No.
Check it out. We would appreciate it if you can, but if you can't, you listening is plenty of help.
Oh, yeah. All right. Now that you've rudely cut me off. No, I'm just kidding. So, today, it's not quite a cop-out episode like we've done in the past, but I wanted to just bring up a bunch of very common conspiracy theories, for some reason, I thought I said that wrong. Conspiracy theories, yeah. In my brain, it did not come out that way.
It sounded like conspiracy theory.
That's
You
because I was
trailed off really weird. You had a little mini stroke
I did.
halfway through it.
And just discuss them with D. Because I know you're on the up and up with all these conspiracy theories.
Yeah, totally.
As a
Yeah,
member of QAnon.
Let me tell you, yeah. I'm a member of DAnon.
We should start that.
D's nuts and on.
D's nuts and on. But, I also completely ignored any conspiracy theory that's touted by Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah, it's
So you're not going to get Jewish space lasers and the ridiculous bullshit that's happened for the most part.
I used to fuck around a lot with conspiracy
I think
theories.
they're interesting.
And it wasn't
they're
like
fun.
I wouldn't read like crazy into them. I would just be like, oh yeah, like this is kind of weird and interesting, and that's an odd approach. But obviously, conspiracy theories have tended to attract the wrong crowd the last few years.
Which is why I'm talking to you about it.
No, fair. I'm not saying you're in the wrong.
No, yeah.
But the reason I haven't touched it in like pretty much 3 years is because of like
It's attractive.
how
yeah.
fucking off the wall and like how like racist, transphobic, and homophobic it has all become
and
so fucking
anti-Semitic,
quickly. Yeah.
all sorts of shit. And,
So it's fair.
yeah.
Like if you dig conspiracy theories, more power to you. I'm not gonna sit here and like shame anybody because I really did enjoy them. I just haven't touched them as of late because reading fucking hate rhetoric really upsets me.
Yeah, fair enough. So I've picked and chose, and I even found, stumbled across a thread on Reddit, of course.
Oh,
and they talked about like, pre-2016 our conspiracy was not bad. It had some interesting like theories and ideas about the world.
Even up to like 2018, 2019, there was still good stuff on there, but then it just was like
now it's just
QAnon shit.
Now it's like even today I found one where it's like, oh, this guy said this, therefore Biden's a pedophile or something. I don't fucking know. Like people, it's ridiculous. Really fucking stupid.
Yeah, it's
so I avoided
for me,
those.
It's kind of hit the point where like a lot of them are just so clickbaity that it's like, get the fuck out of here, man.
And they're just so easy to debunk. Like if you can look at just the title of it
and you go, oh yeah, that is
debunk
bullshit.
it,
okay,
then it's not a good conspiracy theory.
It's fair.
You're not Gary Webb. The CIA's not going to assassinate you. You're trash.
I also feel like because of how things have gone the last like 4 years in the United States, for those of you who are outside of the U.S.,
more power to you.
I can't speak to you about what conspiracy theories are like or like how you seek them out or how you avoid them, but like seeking out sources for me, this show alone has been the reason why I've stepped away from like reading anything along like or even just taking in conspiracy theory content, because like it's not that I get like really great source material for this, but on some episodes
any sources are better than none.
Like there's some sources where like I'll read it and I'm like I almost have to go into every episode with like am I positive that this is what's
we never talked
going
about
on?
that.
Like, just because of like
been...
how fucking bad the political environment has gotten.
How has this been altered with propaganda or things like that? Like, what sources can I trust versus not? Especially with what you're doing with the Serbia series, I am 100% sure it's a bitch and a half to actually sort through and find.
It's hard to find
what actually happened.
Honestly, like
in an unbiased way.
It's interesting, and I know that this is totally off the rails from like where you're going with all this, but it is hard to find like more information. Imagine sitting down and saying, okay, I have 5 or 6 hours to put an episode together. I already know what I'm going to do it on. I have an outline of what I want to do. And then you like fill in the blanks to kind of like, I don't want to
I totally
down
understand.
exactly how I do all my notes because it's long and boring, but like it's basically event, and then it's like, okay, cool, let me find like a source that's about this specific thing, fill in the details. Let me find something else about this specific thing, fill in the details. When I'm done, my notes look like a Wikipedia article, but it's one where like I'm bouncing through so many things, and it's almost like with a lot of this stuff, and this is why it's been so interesting, and I've just absorbed everything on Yugoslavia, is that it's hard to find stuff that isn't like a book.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why my notes will like, I apologize to everybody that's listened to it, and if you feel like, like I just don't know like what happened that episode, or it feels like I went over so much so quickly, it's because there's so much fucking content on it. Like it's just so much going on, and it's like if I were gonna go into detail on every single little thing, we would have a 600-part series on the Butchers of Bosnia.
Seriously.
But back to like having to discern, it's the same thing with just like reading about like current events and shit. Like, because I have to be more, I am so like tiptoey with how I read any news now.
Yeah.
That like, and justifiably so, obviously.
Totally justifiable.
But like, I'll sit down and I'm like, I'll see something, I'm like, like, is that some bullshit? And so I'll like bounce to like 2 or 3 different things and see if, this is in fact, like when I read some headline, it's like, oh, Joe Biden molested 17 kids. I'm like, what the fuck?
Confirmed.
Yeah, I'll go find like.
I go to Snopes. Yeah. Every time I go to Snopes.
Yeah. I just
quick.
Google it and see how many things I can find that coincide, and if they're reputable sources. Whereas before, back in like fucking 2016, if I found something that was crazy,
you're like whoa,
reading about fucking Pizzagate shit.
Hey,
it's like, okay, I know
we're not talking about that yet.
I know that this is going to be pretty fucking preposterous.
Mm-hmm.
And I could go into it with entertainment because I was like, there are probably like 30 people out there that believe this. And now it's like, I'm not going to get involved in this fucking community or have the
because
algorithm.
Because it is a community now.
I'm not going to have the algorithm think that I'm interested in this whatsoever.
Yeah, it's crazy because at this point, it is a community. And it's an echo chamber.
That was a long rant. Sorry.
No, you're good. That's exactly what I wanted to get before we started talking about these, so that you can be a shit and try to justify them like you always do. So, I wanted to make it extremely clear where we sat on the spectrum of these things, the autism spectrum.
Yeah.
But yeah, because Pizzagate does come up. That's my second point.
I would hope so.
But other than that, most of these are.
They're just fucking
they're
goofy
all over the
ones.
place.
Yeah.
They're all over the
They're
place.
conspiracy theories. So it's like, okay.
So they're goofy and they're fun.
It's just sad that people fucking believe them.
Yeah, exactly. Because nowadays it's like 5 seconds of critical thinking skills, and 90% of these are blown out of the water.
Yeah.
Which is why I think they're interesting to talk about in this light, where it's, how do people believe it?
Yeah.
Like,
that's fair.
How? I don't know. So the first one that I came across that actually started this was someone was saying the state lotteries are invented to catch time travelers.
Bro.
That's why nobody wins the lottery.
Love that. And that's why if someone wins, they disappear. Whoa.
And that's why the lottery doesn't lose money. Because even if they pay out, they just kidnap that person because they're a time traveler.
Yeah, totally forget the fact that like people pay into the lottery.
Oh, totally.
Whatever. No, that's irrelevant.
Hold on. Totally forget that there have been over 16,000 people who have won the lottery in the United States.
Apparently, so I don't know how true this is, but I read a few weeks ago that like the whole idea of all the people that have won the lottery are broke within like the first 4 years.
Yeah.
That statistic is something from like the 90s. And
data from the 90s
continued on. It's like police statistics and shit that they pull up from the 90s, and they're like, "Oh yeah, applicable." And it's like, I get that generally speaking, people that take care of their money, that are like money conscious, aren't generally buying
a shitload of tickets,
20 lotto tickets a day. That someone who shotgun affects the lottery is more likely to be pretty fucking stupid with how they handle money. Someone that's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, I dedicate $200 a month to lottery tickets and $60 to my electricity bill. Like,
Perfect.
those people, yeah, probably not the most money smart people.
But if you get that much money, I'm going to hire an accountant.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like
Like-
there's so many people that are now aware that, like, there's no way that somebody that is, like, drunk on a Saturday, they stop to get fucking blunt wraps. So like, yeah, we'll go buy a fucking lottery ticket. Then they win. It's like, there's a good chance that there are a lot of people out there that are like, holy fuck, I can't believe this just happened. I'm going to be smart about how I do this.
Well, $165 billion in the U.S. has been paid out to lottery winners, which roughly averages to like $10 billion
Yeah.
per winner. Obviously, it's not that. They're a lot lower and a couple higher, and that's
they
just the
tax
average.
the
But
fuck out of
imagine,
it, yeah.
imagine you get $10 billion right now, and then you lose half of it to taxes. So you got $5 billion in the
I
bank.
wouldn't give a fuck, dude.
No,
like-
no, that's just like
Yeah.
that would be difficult to spend in 5 years.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I think that would be difficult to spend because I'm not moving to California. And I'm not buying a big old house. I'll just pay off my house,
Yeah, dude.
pay off everybody I know's car,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd still have
Here's the thing.
$9.5 billion left.
Here's the thing. Like, as much as I would be like, yeah, I want to help everybody out. Like, yeah, I'd be like, hey, AJ, I'm going to pay off your house. Like, there's no
Yeah.
way that you wouldn't know that I won the lottery.
Yeah,
I
but
feel
I wouldn't
like
ask for money.
I would be so
I'd be daddy fucking
secretive about it.
Warbucks.
I would be so secretive about it. It wouldn't be like, oh, hey, so and so, like family member number 6, like I have paid off your car. Like, I think I would just do my best to reach out to their bank, anonymously pay it off, and then they're like, how the fuck did this happen? And then
Whoa.
like 6 months later, do the same thing to family member number 4. Like, I think I would be so fucking silent about
Oh, yeah.
winning the lottery just because it scares the shit out of me that, like, someone would just come after me. I'd be like,
Yeah.
no, I don't want this.
Well, I would replace all the windows with bulletproof glass.
I just want to be comfortable, man.
Yeah. Pay off a house,
Yeah.
probably dig a bunker out somewhere. I'd buy a nice cabin.
I knew you would do the bunker thing.
Of
A cabin
course.
would be a go-to easily.
Yeah, well, the cabin would have a bunker under it.
It would be a plot of land, and then I would just pay someone to build the cabin, the basic cabin that I want that
Yeah.
has solar panels. That's it.
Simple.
That's all I want.
straightforward.
Honestly,
I just want to be comfortable.
that is all I
I-
fucking
yeah.
want.
I don't want to be exorbitantly wealthy. I don't want to, wear nice clothes and all that shit. No, that shit's boring.
Yeah, and
I
then
want a
just
cabin in the middle of
and
nowhere.
then I'll just put like $1 million in the S&P 500. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, like fuck it. I'd bury $1 billion in the woods somewhere and let people kill each other to find it.
Jesus. Okay, Mr. Beast. God. But yeah, I love the idea of the time travel thing.
Yeah, it's so
That's
it's so great.
preposterous. But it's
It's
like
out of this world.
my
I love
favorite
it.
thing about so many of these conspiracy theories is it's like
Some of them are practical.
some of them are practical, but you know that there are some on there that it's like you had like 4 people that got fucked up on PCP one night, and then they all had the same little thought. They're like, yo, what if the lottery is to catch time travelers? Somebody posts it, and then those 4 people search it on Google. They're like, oh my God, there are people that think
It's
the same thing, and then it
true.
just blows up.
Yeah, and
I fucking love
oh,
it.
it's so good. And one thing that I always like pointing out when we're talking about huge numbers like millions and billions, a million second is 11 days.
Yeah.
Million seconds. A billion seconds is almost 32 years.
It's insane.
So keep that in mind how much
It is
money we're talking
insane,
about
the
here.
difference, dude.
But yeah, so I think these 16,000 people were the time travelers who didn't get caught, who had an alibi
it's fair.
because they learned from the earlier guys who got caught. Like every time there's a lottery, it takes a long time for someone to win.
It's fair.
So they catch a couple people, and then the later people learn from their mistakes.
yeah, they catch on.
They catch on.
It's fair. Plus,
Um,
if you're a time traveler, or if you are currently not a time traveler, and in
Wink.
the future you discover time travel, I'm just gonna tell you now, don't do the fucking lottery. It's an easy way to get caught. Clearly.
Yeah.
What you should do is go way back and purchase a plot of land for very, very
Dirt cheap. Yeah, the government in the U.S. will pay you to take land at one point.
And just, like, go back, like, just
find your ancestor, give it to them.
Find where they started drilling for oil on that plot of land.
Yeah.
And then buy it, like, 20 years before for, like, 16 cents. And then sit. Until the 1960s, and then just fucking sell that shit.
No,
And
just
you're an oil man.
yeah. No, this is what you do. You find the location, the geographic location where the world's largest diamonds have been found, and dig there 10 years before it started to be mined.
Just go find Elon Musk's dad.
Yeah,
and have him walk you on like just when he's just budding in an idea in his emerald mines. When he walks you in there, just fucking kill him. You're saving all the rest of us from dealing with his bitch of a son.
Yeah.
And then you're going to make so you amounts of money.
Yeah. And then, because we gave you this idea, anonymously deposit whatever amount you seem fitting in the passenger seat of my car.
Into Patreon. That's it.
Into the Patreon, yeah.
You can do an anonymous donation on Patreon.
Perfect.
I like how this went from being a conspiracy theory
to us conspiring
to just us being like, how to get rich quick if you're a time traveler.
Yeah, and not do any work because we're lazy fucks.
I wish.
That would be so crazy if I got into my car tomorrow and I just open it and there's just a bag of emeralds.
I would shit my pants. I would be so
Oh my
excited.
God. I wouldn't even know what to do with it.
I'd be like, we're canceling the podcast.
No.
Delete everything.
Because we have to fence it.
That's fair.
Because we have to prove where we got these emeralds.
How the fuck would you explain that from this episode?
I found them. No, I would make up a story. I'd be like, my great-grandfather passed away a couple years ago. We found these in his cabin, buried behind it. And we, only give him, a quarter.
Yeah.
And then we go to 2 states over, do the same thing. We'll just keep doing that.
Yeah. And then just never tell any of your fucking relatives
never.
about
Never.
it.
Fuck no. Pizzagate.
Okay.
You mentioned it.
Yeah.
I'll give a brief rundown. Old shitty government people got caught on a phishing scam, phishing, phishing, where John Podesta, what was he, campaign manager for Hillary Clinton, something like that.
Yeah. Very close ties to the Clintons.
We'll had a bunch of oh yeah, and the private email server. That was a huge problem for Hillary. Yeah, all of the Trump families every single person had private email servers. So, get that. But basically, some emails were leaked, and one of them was, it proved that there was a child sex ring that was ran in the basement of a D.C. pizza shop. I think it was called Comet Ping Pong or something like that.
Yeah, it's Comet something.
Comet something
swear.
stupid. And
or like Astro Pizza. It's something cosmic, I swear to God.
It's Comet. I know it's Comet. I mean, the email pretty much just says, if you're looking for pizza in DC, this place is good. But it's written by somebody you could tell is older and is not super familiar with email. So there are typos and shit.
Yeah.
But that's a code.
When they wrote pizza, they put pizzussy.
Pizzussy. Yeah. If you remove all the letters besides C and P, it spells out CP.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That means child porn. That's oh shit. You've been caught.
So it was picked up by a bunch of, if you can believe it, conservative and alt-right groups and journalists. I say journalists very loosely.
Yeah. Journalists that are even less so journalists than we are.
Yeah. And then it was pushed through all the different Chan websites, the 4chans, the 8chans. And, they're totally trustworthy.
The Chris Chans. Yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah. And so they spun the tale, adding more details, adding more photos and
bigger
evidence
and bigger,
in quotes. Yeah. And people were just taking the word as gospel. I don't know why, but they were just like, this website that's been a hate group and running just shitty troll campaigns that lead people to kill themselves
Reputable.
for decades. Totally reputable.
Yeah. This is a good source.
Yeah, there's a great source. So
Now they're getting traffic so they can make their page look a little bit more official. It doesn't look like it was made in a 7th grade like computer science class.
So did you hear about the guy who went to the pizza shop?
No.
Oh my god. So some idiot was emboldened by all this coverage. He was like, "I'm going to go save those children." And he probably flew from Alabama or something. And he took a gun into DC, a rifle, kicked down the door of this family establishment, shot a lock on the back storeroom with the gun. So discharged a firearm, shooting the lock. He opens the door to reveal there's not a hidden basement. There isn't a basement in this building at all.
Yeah, he actually found the secret recipe for Krabby Patties
Yeah.
back there.
And
God
he
damn.
was arrested, and it was this huge fucking thing because he's in D.C., and because D.C. isn't a state, they have gun control.
God damn it.
And it was so funny. Like, there were pictures of the, like, trapdoor into the basement where they were, doing this sex trafficking, but also it kind of started merging in with the Satan blood libel, which we talked about on before, and the adrenochrome, and started merging into all this, and it morphed. This was like
that was like early days pizza.
This was the start of QAnon and the adrenochrome.
Oh, okay.
That kind of
Fuck.
This evolved into QAnon.
That makes sense, yeah.
This evolved into the adrenochrome kind of bullshit.
Jesus.
Conspiracy theories that we see now. Like, this is what we're in right now. This is like 2nd-gen conspiracy theories, and they're all trash, and it's all politically motivated, and it's all misinformation campaigns.
It's like I said, it all comes off as clickbait because of how preposterous all of it is. It really is just like somebody in the Mississippi Delta got access to the internet for the first time, and they're just shitting out headlines.
Yeah,
like,
the algorithm
that's what
knows
it
they're
is.
there,
Yeah.
and they're being fed all this bullshit, and they don't know that you can't trust everything that's on the internet.
They've never read anything that wasn't on a newspaper.
Yeah, yeah.
So they've only recently got a rotary telephone. I shit you not. There are people, like, I think I've mentioned this before on the show, but there are people in the United States that did not have, like, dial-up internet until, like, 2018.
Ugh, I can't imagine.
It's
the Amish?
areas,
Are you talking about the Amish?
Yeah, no. Areas of the Mississippi Delta, which is basically just like a fucking dead zone of the U.S., where it's like, I'm not even, look it up.
So
if
is
you're
it north
listening
of
and you're like,
Louisiana?
fuck off, there's another conspiracy theory. It is the Mississippi Delta, and it's like borderline third world country. Like, they're living in shacks, like, I read this whole thread on it, and this one girl was like, yeah, I went to Mississippi State University. I grew up in the Delta. And I remember getting a phone call, and I was like, what the fuck? And I answered it, and it was her mom, and her mom was like ecstatic and was like, oh my God, we got through, because it was the first time that family had a phone, like a phone line in their house. And when I talked to an old coworker about it, I can't really say his name, but he was from Mississippi.
Jamantha. Yeah.
No,
Jimothy.
we worked with him, and he married a pilot. He doesn't have to work anymore. My girlfriend hated him. He worked with me up front. Tall guy, baseball caps, annoying bitch.
No, nothing. No, you just tell me later.
But I would give him shit. I'd be like, hey, you're from the Delta. And he would get so mad because he was like, no, those people, like, they'll grow up till they're like 60, a normal person, and they just will never learn how to read. Like,
that's crazy.
And then in the...
No wonder racism is still alive. What the fuck?
Yeah, dude. And, like, there are areas of Arkansas that are almost as fucking depraved as that. There's an area in West Virginia in the Appalachians. The Appalachians are fucked.
Oh, yeah, those are fucked. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd love to hike there, but that's about it.
But I've watched, like, I've seen interviews of, like, there was a guy who went out there and met a family that they were all, like, 4th-gen incest.
Ooh.
Yeah. And like,
That's a lot of like mental shit.
yeah, they're all like
And
totally
physical
fucked
shit.
up. He like meets them. He ended up doing like a big GoFundMe and got them like shoes.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But yeah, like it doesn't surprise me that there are people like this in the US that believe this stuff because we're hitting a digital age. And yeah, if you live somewhere where you have access to
And you have money.
the internet,
It's
at
location
all,
and
yeah,
finances.
you'll have a pretty good idea of what the fuck is going on. But there's a very large population in the US that just doesn't fucking get it.
That's crazy. It makes sense though.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, dude.
That
Imagine you go from, like I said, newspapers to suddenly you have 4,000 newspapers in front of you, and you can just, like, it's not even doom scrolling on Instagram. This is doom scrolling fucking, like, newspaper sheets. Like,
yeah, my microfiche
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
But so this Pizzagate thing eventually involved into like it went further. I don't remember how, but it was before that guy went and shot the place up. But there were like clips. Apparently, there was this video on the dark web that nobody has seen, but they know it's rotating on the dark web.
It was right after the Saddam Hussein beheading video.
No, it was they were saying that this video shows Hillary Clinton and this other person in her campaign killing a child, drinking their blood, and then wearing the child's face, like taking turns wearing the face, and that's where the adrenochrome stuff comes
And it's
from.
it's just puppets.
No, so apparently there were clips,
God
and the
damn.
clips
Yeah.
were just
The alleged
poorly
clips of that,
rendered.
yeah.
6
Like
pixels.
128p.
Yeah, 128p. And it was the other person who was wearing a mask, but it was a known photo of them just wearing a mask. Like,
It's insane. Like you could
it
probably
was so
get an
easily
AI
debunked.
generator that
does it better.
That does it way. It looks way better than
Oh,
this
100%.
alleged clip.
And that's the crazy thing, is that all that AI shit is going to embolden these groups so much
it
more because
really
they're going to
is.
be, look at this evidence. Look at this evidence I have here.
Think about that
Hillary
Pope,
Clinton has 7 fingers. Trust
that
me.
fucking Pope picture of him in
Yeah.
like the puffy coat, and everybody, like all these fucking Catholics, went crazy for it.
Fucking idiots.
And it was AI.
It was very obviously AI, but I have it on my computer.
Yeah.
I look at it all the time because I really love combining Zdzislaw Beksiński's art with Anton Semenov,
Just anything.
and just combining those, and I can just sit there stoned
Have
and
you
look at
seen-
those
have
images
you seen
forever.
the stuff that I've sent you on Instagram? There are like 2 videos where it's like art that just morphs. It
Oh,
just
yeah.
slowly changes into something
I
else.
love that shit.
It's
It's
great.
so
There's a
good.
cool one I sent today.
Okay, I'll
You'll
check it out. So now
I'll put it on the Pressure Point story.
Yes.
Go find it. I'll find both of them and I'll put them on the story because it's trippy shit.
Hell yeah. Next one, classic. This is a classic. Vaccines are population control / autism.
It's rough because
Classic.
like our fucking first episode, I think we dumped on some of this shit.
I think we did.
Not our first or second episode.
There's the second one.
When we talked about like our IRBs, and then the next one when we talked about eugenics.
Yeah.
But
I talk about it all the
that
time.
was 5 seasons ago, bro.
Yeah. The guy who we can start rotating. We just rotate episodes every 4 years.
All right. We
But-
really do need to go back and do like
Yeah.
specific episodes on each of those
We should.
topics.
But so, we've talked about it before. The doctor who's like, yeah, I have all this research. Vaccines cause Down syndrome and autism and all these issues. And then he was like, okay, where's your data? And he fudged it. And then he lost his medical license. And people are still following
And then
to this day.
he mysteriously died. He mysteriously disappeared, you know?
No, I wish. The
it's
world
just
would be
that
a better
dumb
place if he did.
shit.
But, we're still seeing this, especially with COVID, which I get into after.
Mhm.
But
Dude, COVID was
so
so
many
fucked
conspiracies.
with
People
it.
with time on their hands and access to echo chambers really fucked them up. But despite these population control vaccines that we've had for, 100 years, more in some cases, we hit over 8 billion people in the last couple of months on this planet.
population control. They're controlling population.
Are they increasing fertility? Because population is up and up. There's been no drop. despite the fact
goddamn.
that in some countries are no longer at replacement level, population is still increasing,
Jesus.
which is insanity. Then it doesn't make sense to
Stop
do
having
population control.
fucking kids,
Yeah.
man.
I think I saw a chart that it's expected that our population will peak around 60 billion before people can't survive anymore. And then the population growth slows, people die off. And then it kind of balances.
I remember being in I think it was middle school, and reading about the population hitting, I think it was when it first hit like 5 billion.
Yeah, 5 or 6 probably.
And it was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, I remember just not being able to comprehend. And I thought all of it was in the U.S. I was
Yeah,
like, whoa! And then, like, finding out how, like, yeah, the U.S. is a big portion of that population.
Yeah, 440, 450 million.
But it pales in comparison to, like,
India?
China and India.
Holy shit.
Like, those
China
two
and
combined,
India?
I shit you not, are like, what, 6? Not 6.
No,
it's
no.
like, it's
I
like
think
almost
India's
4
a billion.
together.
China's about a billion.
It's like 1.3 or some shit. Like,
Yeah.
it's up
I think
there.
it's 2 or 3
Yeah,
together.
They're pretty close to like
It's
a third of
crazy,
the
though.
world's population.
Yeah,
It's
considering the
bonkers.
land amount, like, it's crazy.
Yeah, dude.
And then, like, it doesn't make sense because rich people need poor people to convert poor people's life energy into. This isn't a conspiracy theory.
Oh, it's like, is this
No.
leading into the next
No,
one?
to convert our life force into value that if this
Yeah.
currency that we just invented.
Yeah.
Like
Jesus.
they need poor people to stay rich because if the rich people, if everybody had $10 billion, money would be meaningless.
Exactly.
If everybody had $0 money, I mean, obviously no money would be meaningless. Like rich people need poor people to feel rich.
Yeah.
Bitches.
They need more of us.
Yeah. And they can make more money the more of us there are to exploit. And then, of course, you get the COVID vaccines with the microchips or they're
God damn.
the COVID vaccines. My favorite was they're for depopulation. COVID was a hoax that somehow millions, maybe even billions of healthcare workers, millions of government workers kept under wraps.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, they all hit it so well.
Meanwhile, I think the common phrase is the only way for 3 people to keep a secret is if 2 of them are dead. Humans cannot keep secrets. We would have heard about it by now. That's why those conspiracies where it's like New World Order shit, I think are so bullshit because we would have heard about it by now. Like somebody would leak something. But it's crazy. And then
Jesus Christ.
and like I'm alive. COVID hasn't killed me, like depopulated me.
Shut the fuck up. You're sounding too serious on this shit.
No, I'm saying I'm saying I'm
No,
debunking
I
them.
know. I'm saying, like, when you're like, oh, yeah, COVID isn't real. I was like,
No, I'm
AJ, don't fucking, like, even dip your toes in
No,
that side of the
I had
fucking
COVID.
water.
It was horrible.
I know. I'm just, it always fucks me up. I'm
I know.
like, oh,
Sorry.
don't take that.
I'm trying
don't
to be.
go
Yeah,
that take.
don't take that out of context.
I will. I'm
I
gonna
know you
clip
will.
that.
Yeah, clip that, please.
Yeah. I'm too lazy.
And I like the microchips and vaccines.
My favorite was Bill Gates doing an AMA, like, I think it was a couple months after the vaccine had come out. And on Reddit, like, if you sorted by controversial, that was just all of them was about microchips and shit. It was
Oh my
like,
God.
fuck off.
People are dumb.
Really?
Because let's talk about what does a microchip do? It's usually processes, right? Processes data.
I don't know. Look at my fucking phone. There's a microchip. That's
Yeah.
basically like
But
that was what was
that's
so
that's a
preposterous
microchip
about all
connected
of it.
to so much more shit. Microchips need sensors, a power source, data processing shit.
No, it runs off of your blood flow. It's got a
Yeah,
little
okay.
miniature turbine in there and it's so small that you can't even see it. It's basically the size of a blood cell, but your white blood cells won't attack it. So.
Yeah, exactly. Your immune system
God,
somehow they're giving the same thing to everybody, but your immune system is like whatever. Then how does it get the data out? Like, is it RFID? So you have to walk to your nearest Walmart for it to show up? Unless there's an antenna on there too, and then it needs the power to transmit and receive. Like, it's so stupid when you think about how easy it is to just
and the
tap
other
a
thing
cell
is-
phone.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Why
like,
would they do this
Why would-
whole campaign? Why would they orchestrate an entire epidemic to get data they already have.
When Facebook alone
When
knows
Facebook-
more about you than you know about
Facebook
yourself.
has basically made the NSA redundant.
Yeah.
Like,
Snowden, you can come back. Like, fucking God, dude.
yeah.
Ugh,
Like,
that was
it's
my
so
favorite thing.
ridiculous.
It's just like when they would talk about it, I'm like, dude, they like the microchip. Yeah, it would have information about your body, I guess. Like,
But, like, what can
I
you
don't
get
know, it would
inside a
listen,
blood
It would
vessel?
listen to your conversations.
Okay, so it need
You
a
know what?
microphone.
You know what listens to your fucking conversations?
All of your data.
Your fucking
all your,
phone.
Your phone,
You know what
iPad,
has?
computer.
You know what has the actual pictures that you take? Not
Oh.
your eyeballs. They're not like this microchip isn't going to do brain.
It's not going to go
scans.
into your eyes.
Yeah, it goes in and it's just copying and pasting fucking like brain activity.
Yeah, like, so in the medical field, they have something that you can insert into an artery, and it checks, like, your blood pressure, your pulse, your oxygenation. Awesome. It's not a microchip, and if that thing was just floating around your body, you'd have a stroke and die. Like, what is stopping this? Even if it's a...
You would clot so fucking
Like,
quickly.
Even if it's a microscopic microchip, your capillaries get to one red blood cell thick. If it is exactly the size of a red blood cell, it would still get stuck.
And
because it's not a red blood cell, because red blood cells can be under pressure, they can warp
and please
move.
explain to me where the millions of microscopic fucking machines are being made. Like,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
walk me
Can
through
I get a
one
job there?
time where those are being made.
They probably have bank
in
holidays
a country,
off.
in a country that was having a massive decline in job growth. Like,
Yeah.
where are all these fucking workers
billions
when
of
everybody's
these.
working from home? They're mailing you all of the like.
Yeah, they're just manufacturing it in your
giant fucking
kitchen.
microscope so you can
Yeah,
like
solder
make
them.
it, and they have bleach spray so you can put it on there so that it doesn't kill anybody when it's put into their system because you were frying bacon right next to your fucking like.
it's so
what the fuck
stupid.
is wrong with you?
So
God damn.
dumb. I love it. I love those ones. Those ones, the microchips are so good.
Stupid.
When it's just like, if we know anything, it's that humans will always do the laziest, easiest way, and cell phones are that way.
I will say though, I don't remember what year it was. There were people that were actually putting like chips and shit into their palms.
Oh yeah, that shit's cool.
For like RFID scanning.
Yeah,
and
you
shit.
can put like your credit card in
Yeah.
there.
And I feel like they took that idea, which like it wasn't like, oh, it's in your hand and it's not noticeable. Like it was like a bump in
Yeah,
your fucking
these are
palm.
amateur. It was usually
Yeah.
inserted at tattoo shops.
Yeah.
Like this is.
It was kind of
amateur
cool shit. I was like, oh,
no, it's
that's-
cool.
That's pretty sick.
I read about one guy. He was a contractor, and he had them insert magnets under his first three fingers so that he could find the metal studs in the
Oh,
commercial
that's
buildings
cool.
and shit like that.
That's sick.
Like he could pick up a screw just by touching it. And I was like, okay, that's cool. Like I love like utilitarian shit. Like that has a use.
Anytime he
But again,
walks,
that data's not being sent anywhere.
every time he picks up an electronic device,
It
it factory resets.
Yeah.
God damn it!
Sorry, is that a credit card swiper? I'm
didn't-
paying with
I
cash.
should have done the neodymium magnets.
Shit. My personal favorite right now, just from this group, is that Donald Trump is still the president and Biden is an android that he controls.
He is, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
We don't
legit.
even have to comment on that one. We could just move
Yeah,
past it.
fucking God.
Here's another classic. This is classic from first gen. Let's talk first gen conspiracy theories. That has been altered a bit. It's still around. Moon landing was faked.
That one is that one surprises me.
Yeah. Like,
But it's
you
such
think
a
the
big one,
Soviets
like,
would have done
you
something
can't-
about that if they thought it was faked.
Like, yeah, and
The Soviets were tracking everything we were doing.
If anything, like, wouldn't the Soviets have, like, if that were the case, wouldn't the Soviets have just released like a propaganda film about them getting to the moon first?
Yeah,
I mean, they would have just released a film. Like, it's just so weird to me that one's like so big, because
It's so insane.
back then it's like, I feel like, yeah, it was big for. Maybe I don't understand the climate, but like getting to the moon, yeah, I know that there was a space race between the U.S. and Soviet Russia. It was basically like, oh,
it was a dick measuring
maybe
contest,
this is how we can solve the Cold War. Like, okay.
No, it was literally a, ooh,
But,
look at us, we're more advanced than
like,
you.
it was just one that I'm like, why it's just so stupid to me that, yeah, they faked the fucking moon landing.
Well, they did. Let me tell you why. The flag, if you watch the videos, the flag was moving, it was waving, and it was like out. Therefore, the moon doesn't have wind. The moon doesn't have gravity and whatever. So wouldn't it just be like hanging there?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
They probably shot it on the surface of the sun.
Then
Because that's not real either. They actually shot that entire video on the back side of the planet. That's the dark side of the planet, the other flat side.
Yeah.
Because the
Through the
planet
wall.
is a pancake. So
So,
they were
yeah,
on
it
the
is.
side
No,
that
it's a
looks like a
taco.
moon that we don't know about.
Yeah. Then the shadows don't match the sun direction. If you watch the videos, there are shadows all over the place, and they don't match the one source of light in space, the sun.
Yeah.
Okay.
They didn't have any other lights
No,
up there.
no. And then there's no blast circle. Like when they took off, there's no blast or real imprint on the moon.
Like currently, if you were to look at the moon?
Yeah.
Oh,
There's no blast site.
okay.
And Neil, good old Neil Armstrong, first man on the moon, allegedly, who was filming him when he was climbing down the ladder. So somebody else was already on the moon.
Yeah, wow. Had to have been a setup.
It was faked. Stanley Kubrick
Yeah.
or whatever. And he tried to tell us in The Shining.
Have you seen the video of Buzz Aldrin beat the shit out of that guy for
Yes.
saying that the moon landing was
Yes.
fake?
100%.
And he's like,
it's so
like
good.
Buzz
He's old
Aldrin
as
was like
shit.
80 years
You beat
old
the
in this
shit
video.
out of that
And this
dude.
guy's like, the moon landing was staged, and he
Why won't
fucking-
you tell us the
he-
truth? And he just bam, bam, bam.
It's so good,
Oh,
dude.
it's so good.
And he's fired up. You can see that like blood is
Oh, yeah.
pumping.
Dude, he's got a boner for the first time in 10 years.
He's got
Just
a
because the
fight-
blood
he's
is
got
pumping.
a fight boner.
He's got a fight boner. Everybody gets those. But yeah, like obviously they put a wire in the flag so that
They
it
didn't
would
even
hang
see
up.
it.
And it was moving because they were drilling it into the ground. Like, how fucking stupid. Let's talk about the shadows. Yeah, no shit, they had mounted lights all over the place.
Yeah, have you heard of the dark side of the fucking moon?
Jesus
It's not going to
Christ.
be like I don't know. It's one where they could have planned to land on the lighter side, like
I mean,
the
no, they
super
did.
light side
'Cause
of the moon.
The super dark side,
but
you'll
even
freeze,
then,
is really
it's still
cold.
pretty fucking dark up
Well,
there.
even then,
and
the
you're
moon
shooting in black and white. They don't have like
Yeah, they don't
the
have
best
color film.
cameras up there. Oh,
And
Jesus.
you're sitting on a moon which is orbiting around the Earth, which is orbiting itself around the sun.
Yeah.
So you're going, yeah, of course you have to bring a bunch of like fucking lights. Blast circle, it's low gravity. It didn't take very much fuel to launch. Like the whole thing was, it takes a shitload of fuel to launch out of the Earth. It takes almost none to come back.
So, I get the people that questioned it at the time.
At the time, for sure.
Yeah, at
because
the
it was
time,
so
at
new.
the time, it's like they air it, and you're like,
That was technology
there's
they didn't even know
no-
existed.
I can't see them on the moon right now, kind of
Yeah.
shit. It's like, okay, I get it. Like, this is so fucking crazy. But, like, now, it's like flat earthers. I'm like, how? How the fuck do you, like, what?
Hold on, that's down there. We'll talk about that later. Because of course it is.
Yeah, of course.
We'll burn through the rest of these pretty quick. These are the heavy hitters at the start. And then obviously there was just an external camera on the lunar module that filmed him climbing down the ladder. Like, no shit. No shit, Sherlock.
Oh, God.
Yeah, what do you think about fluoride in the water?
Well, it's making the frogs gay, so.
Yeah, I mean, those are chemicals. Not necessarily fluoride, but
It's
definitely.
one of the
One of them.
chemicals.
It's good for your teeth. How dare the government try to protect my teeth?
I remember
Next, we got to
hearing-
take the iodine out of the salt. I want a goiter in every school.
I remember hearing that when I was a kid, that it was like, oh, yeah, like, they put it in there so you don't have to brush your teeth. And I was like, no, that's
No,
not how that
that's
works.
not it.
And I was like a kid. I was like,
That's not how it works. But it definitely does help. And it's if you have too much fluoride, it is poisonous. It can be poisonous in higher amounts.
that's why I haven't lost any teeth yet. It's because
Yeah.
I drink tap water.
Perfect.
Thank you, Biden. Thanks
Thanks,
a lot,
Obama.
Barack Obama.
Thanks, Obama. despite the fact that it's been in there forever. Goddamn. But yeah, apparently I came across so many different like fluoride conspiracies. Apparently it's for mind control, or it suppresses the masses. It makes us all docile.
Oh fuck! That's why I believe all this. That's why I don't believe any of these conspiracy theories.
Because you
I
only drink
tap
Brita.
water.
Oh.
Oh God.
No. My favorite though is that it protects the teeth. It really binds to the teeth and is visible from space. So satellites pick up the signature through your skull and match it to your dental records.
Wow.
So that they can track you in real time
sense.
anywhere on Earth as long as there's a satellite pointed at you.
Truer words have never been spoken.
Also, Adolf Hitler gave the Jews fluoride in their water.
You mean Wanda Sykes?
Yeah, Wanda Sykes. No. And apparently that's how he got so many into the camps. And it has nothing to do with all the guns, murder, beatings, burnings, grenades, artillery.
God.
Has nothing to do with any of that. It was just the fluoride, and then they walked in the camp.
Yeah, it was.
And that's what's happening to us right now since the probably 50s, 60s when they put it in the water. If not earlier, I don't actually know.
We're all slowly being pulled towards Auschwitz.
Very, very... I mean, I am. I want to go there so bad.
It's fair, yeah.
Everybody... That's why all middle-aged men get really into World War II.
Oh,
So yeah,
God.
fluoride, that's great. How do you feel about chemtrails?
Jesus.
I have like 2 lines
The
for this one.
chemtrails thing is just like...
Well, my favorite thing...
I feel like to believe the whole chemtrails thing would be like if you woke up one day, you walked outside for the first time, and a jet flew over, and you were like, whoa, that's crazy.
It's falling on me.
And then immediately after that, the first thing that you watched was a video of a farmer crop dusting his land, and you were like, what?
That just happened to me.
Like, I feel like
happened to me.
that's what has to happen with your day for you to fucking believe in chemtrails.
Yeah, because, here's the critical thinking that just shows up. Okay, so they're chemtrailing everybody. So are they immune to it, whoever they are? Like,
Yeah.
do they have, like, a vaccine?
Yeah. They have
like,
a microchip.
Yeah, they have a microchip. So then how do they get new people to work with them, whatever they are, if their baby's being born and being chemtrailed immediately? Do they, like... Are you pre-selected for this job of whatever it is that they're trying to do?
Yeah, didn't you know they only chemtrail over black communities?
And then, yeah, right.
God.
And then why do they need the planes, especially if they do have some kind of
if
protection
you've already got stuff in the
Why do
water,
they need
why
the
the fuck are
planes?
you
Yeah.
making it airborne?
Why don't you just, like, throw a light bulb full of it in a subway somewhere? Like, what the fuck? There are easier ways
so
than attaching this
stupid.
shit. And you'd think that that people flying, like physicists, would be like, hold on. They can hold way more fuel. Because they have these huge tanks of pesticide or
and
something.
you would also think that if you're going to do, like basically crop dusting, like more or less the more effective way of spreading this chemical would be low-flying planes.
Yeah.
Not something that it's like, I think that's a jet, but I can't quite tell.
It'll be high
the
enough.
only reason I can tell is because of the fucking, like, burst of cloud that it's making behind it.
It's got to be high enough that it freezes and then melts and then evaporates before it hits the ground. Like, what the fuck?
And why aren't, like, is it when you wake up in the morning and there's dew on the ground? That's just
wouldn't that just
the
be everywhere?
chemtrail stuff? Like, I don't understand.
Apparently, but
It's just,
yeah, I don't know.
because if you're doing it so high up, like,
it'll evaporate before it gets to you. Like,
yeah. And even then, even if it were to, like, rain on you, or it gets absorbed into this layer of ozone, or whatever the fuck you want to defend, the thing is, there are, like, not solar winds, but there are different winds that are higher than where we're
currents
standing.
and shit.
It wouldn't be effective at all
No.
to fly that high up and, like, carpet bomb somebody.
Yeah, why would you need that when you have fluoride?
Exactly.
It's crazy.
An easier method would be to put it in a fucking vaccine.
Yeah.
Like, God.
Here, this one, tale as old as time. One of the oldest conspiracy theories that I found here. And I don't even think I can call it a conspiracy theory. I think I can just call it a theory.
Oh, okay.
I think I could just call it the truth. Women can't orgasm.
I mean,
It's true. I haven't been able to make
according
any...
to my experience.
yeah. According to our experience is 50% of this household.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think we can safely say we'll just move on from that. That one's true.
My girlfriend's just a really fucking good actress.
Yeah.
And that's what she prides herself on. Isn't like any of her hobbies or anything. She's like, I like being with D because he makes me feel like the greatest actress in the world.
Oh.
You just hear a gunshot.
Yeah.
D isn't with us anymore. This is just AJ's show. My favorite are the people that believe that. It's like, do you realize what you're admitting to?
Yeah,
everyone?
Exactly. It's like, damn, normally people are too embarrassed to say shit like that.
And his wife is like, no, this is fucking true. Like, we can't. And it's like, oh, honey.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, honey.
Let me, use code at Adam and Eve. We got to get a sponsorship, an Adam and Eve sponsorship.
I would be so down.
That'd be great. We could try out new things every podcast.
Under the table.
Under the table during.
No offense, but I really don't want to look you in the eyes when I'm
You don't want to.
just
you don't wanna
boinking off, yeah.
Blink off, staring me in the eye. Which eye, though?
Yeah.
Flat Earth.
Trying the PP eviscerator.
So this is a quick one. Flat Earth, it's not worth the debate.
No.
The fucking Greeks figured this shit out with math, and they were nerds.
Have you seen the video of the guys that disprove themselves?
Yes, that's literally my next line. Is there are so many videos on YouTube of flat earthers just completely proving themselves wrong.
And they're like, oh, well, we must offset. Yeah, okay, buddy.
Yeah.
You are offset. It's called the curvature of the Earth.
Oh my God, that one's great.
Have you?
I saw another one where somebody got a bunch of balloons and put a GoPro on it and literally showed the curvature of the Earth and said, well, I can't have a flat earther channel. Like,
the stream
I just
has
disproved
ended.
it. And then they said, and then all the comments were, oh, well, GoPro has it's a fisheye lens. That's what you were seeing. It's like, no, I turned off the fisheye lens. Like, you can, it's just a setting. And he's like, no, you're one of them.
Oh God, they've gotten to him.
They've gotten to you.
He was a deep fake all along.
And he lost like all of his friends
Jesus.
and everything. It was
He should have
so
lost
stupid.
them all when he started believing in a flat
Well,
Earth.
he found new friends in the flat earthers.
Have you seen the curvature of like just Chile? Like how much
it curves?
How much that country like curves around?
Yeah, it's
the Earth.
long.
It's crazy. Yeah,
Long and tall.
pretty cool.
Unlike me, on the opposite.
But at the
of
same
that.
time, it's like when you think about like, there's no way, and I know that we're not supposed to be debating with these fucking people, but why the fuck would planes take a completely different route? Like if you're looking at a flat map of how a flight pattern
planes just
goes,
go in circles.
The plane just goes, oh yeah, I'm actually going to take a wide right to get from point A to point B.
Yeah, they just go in circles. They don't go.
Yeah,
the
it's
planes
like,
never
no,
fly straight.
Normally, you would think that they would just take the shorter route, but no, we should probably just pollute the
No.
planet
All
further.
the planes. Yeah, that was actually one of them. It was all the planes just go in circles to make it seem like they're going different routes and not following and are following a curvature. All the big plane is in on it.
Yeah. Big plane lobbyists.
This is my favorite one. Straight up. North Korea is really a paradise, and all of the information that they release is 100% accurate. Meanwhile, the Western world is running a massive propaganda campaign to suppress it because they don't want people to know how good they could have it.
Who's to know?
Yeah.
Who's to know?
So,
Who's
in
to
next
say for
season,
certain?
next season of Pressure Points is coming live from North Korea.
God.
We are jumping the wall.
If we could go to North Korea and not be immediately
I was like,
murdered,
are we gonna do the interview?
yeah. Like
They can't have two Seth Rogans.
We would be great for it. The only problem is they would find out, like, while we're securing the hotel location and everything. They'd be like, oh, what's their podcast say?
Yeah.
We would die. Like,
Oh,
we would
instantly.
land, and they would just pop, and that'd be
Dead.
it. Yeah.
No, they wouldn't even waste a bullet on us.
Yeah,
Axe.
they just have somebody crash the plane,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
was flying in circles.
Yeah, exactly. I would like to go to South Korea and go to the wall.
And then we should cross it.
Then yeah, I'll just put a little toe in.
I'll just push you across.
I'll
I
pull
never
down,
have to do an episode again.
No, I'll pull down my pants, piss over the line, and then you'll push
And
me
then they'll
into
shoot your
it.
dick
And then
off.
yeah, because it's over the line,
just far enough.
like RoboCop. Okay, this was one that I've never heard of before.
Okay.
It's called the phantom time hypothesis.
Oh. Okay.
And it basically says, I don't know how I want to go. Okay, the way it started is there was basically this convention in Germany, a bunch of nothing to do with World War II or Jews.
Good job. You did it.
And this convention was about history. There's a bunch of historians. And basically, one of the people there, probably a professor or something, said, "Hey, I found these documents that it seemed like they were forged in like just before the early Middle Ages, like."
Okay.
And they were historical documents that talked about events in history that haven't happened yet. Like, so it seemed like they were talking about things that hadn't happened yet and things that we accept as history.
Okay.
So this guy goes down a rabbit hole
Uh-oh.
where he now says that
This was the one Chan. This is
Yeah.
one Chan that he found.
he says that the Middle Ages, the early Middle Ages, did not happen at all. Our history from that time period
Okay. was
invented. Any historical artifacts dated to that time period either came before that or after that, which doesn't make any fucking
Dude
sense.
has fucking main character syndrome.
Yeah.
He's like, I was actually the start of the earth.
No, he says that the church wrote out 300 years of history that looked beneficial to them and then just inserted it into the calendar when they switched over to the Gregorian calendar. Which means, according to his science, let's say, his theory, Charlemagne didn't exist. Like, and there's also no motive that we can find besides, like, maybe it made the church look better, but it also didn't. Like, you'd think if they were running that kind of propaganda,
Yeah, they would
they'd
just
make themselves
eliminate
look
the
a
Crusades.
lot better.
Yeah, they'd be like, oh yeah, there actually wasn't a class difference.
I think
We
that was
all-
after.
Was
So this is early middle,
Oh, this is early middle. Well,
I
regardless.
think. But yeah, like you'd think there would be a lot more pro-church propaganda.
Jesus, what was this one called? It's
The Phantom Time Hypothesis.
Phantom Time
You should definitely look it
Hypothesis.
up
I'll look
because
it
it's
up.
weird.
I'll check it out
I
tonight.
basically boiled it down to 4 lines rather than talk about it, and it's crazy.
What the fuck?
So yeah, they basically just it's not actually 2023. It's 1723.
Yeah. What the fuck?
And yeah, and then there's no real evidence besides this one guy just saying. But I love the idea.
I'm just not dumb or creative enough. I'm not stupid creative enough to come up with a conspiracy theory.
Oh, another potential motive was there was a king who, around that time, who may have, like, greenlit it so that the year 1000 hit in his reign, which, back in those days, if your reign as a king hit the millennial mark, you were, like, espoused by God or something. Like, God loves you or something. I don't know. That seems really loose.
This was also back during Pangea.
Yeah,
So that's why it was easier.
well, they were
for him
riding
to
around on
control-
dinosaurs.
Yeah, it was easier for him to control all of the people to reset their calendars.
Well, yeah, here's another
What the
thing. Like,
fuck?
obviously during this time, not everybody could read, not everybody had
yeah.
access to even timekeeping, but the amount of work it would have taken to had to travel to every church, chapel,
Yeah,
monastery
reset.
in the world as they knew it would take 100 years.
Switch it to AD.
Yeah,
switch it
it
to
over.
AD.
Oh, it's
What the
fucking
fuck?
stupid. But yeah, I just
That's
thought it was
weird.
interesting. Oh, here's a fun one. You'll love this one. You remember Rasputin?
Yeah, yeah.
We've talked about Rasputin a couple of times.
I
He got
wanted to actually talk about
eventually.
Rasputin.
He, got poisoned, shot, stabbed, thrown in a river, shot again, and apparently survived it all. And he was sleep around with a bunch of Russian high society women.
Wild son of a bitch.
And he was like a magician, magi kind of guy. And yeah, he's worth a full episode, even though I think 90% of it was just being able to talk his way out of the situation and people being afraid of his magic.
I mean,
stuff.
and he was a funky looking dude.
He was a funky looking dude. He played the part.
Yeah.
So according to this theory, he actually did survive that final encounter in the river. Trimmed off his beard.
He's just hiding on the island with Tupac and Elvis.
Yeah. He's so he shaved off his beard and he traveled and inserted himself into German society.
Oh God, of course. He's Hitler, isn't he?
He's Hitler.
Oh my God. Dude,
he
of fucking
became Hitler,
course.
and that's why Germany fought Russia, because he wanted revenge. Despite the fact that they were originally allied with Russia and then fought them only later in the war.
God damn it, dude.
I love this because they look absolutely nothing alike.
I know, dude.
At all. They don't have
Even
the
if
same
he
body
were to
type.
shave,
Even if he were to, I don't know, chop off the bottoms of his feet so he'd be shorter and gain a bunch of weight.
that's what he did.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was, worth it. That's
He
why.
did the
That's why
opposite of
Hitler
that.
always wore those boots.
He did the opposite of the dwarfism to normal sized person. That's a really fucking unfair way of saying
That is not average height person.
Yeah, average. Thank you. Sorry, it's late. And this is a long fucking episode.
Sorry, it's fun.
Dwarfism to average height person. He did the opposite. They just cut out parts of his bones and his legs. What the fuck?
All right, I've got just a couple quick ones. Dinosaurs were planted by the U.S. government and governments around the world to disprove religion.
I will say that I grew up knowing people very, very, very close to me that weren't necessarily raising me, but were very close to me, that believed dinosaur bones were put in the earth by Satan to make Christians question whether God existed.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like the 6,000 year old Earth.
Hey, that's similar. I had some family members who thought that the only reason we have dinosaurs is that whoever created our Earth, our Jesus or whatever, used parts of other planets that had been destroyed. So there were other planets that had dinosaurs, and they just kind of crushed it all together like a ball of Play-Doh, reusing those parts, and that's why we have dinosaurs.
Man, if anybody listening has any questions on some of the weird post-death shit that Mormons believe, just reach out and I'll tell you about it. There's some wild shit.
There is.
There's some really weird shit that they believe. And if you're one of them, sorry, you believe some weird shit, bro.
Weird.
I'm sorry.
All right. The NSA made Xbox One. That is my conspiracy theory here.
Okay.
So the NSA went to Microsoft and said, hey, make the Xbox One. Do you remember how terrible the Xbox One was
on release,
originally?
Yeah. The idea, I remember when they talked about release and everyone was like, we don't fucking want that.
Yeah, it was the always on, always needed internet. It had the dumb DRM shit.
It didn't have any sharing. Yeah.
It had terrible launch games.
Yeah.
And the Kinect was always on.
Yeah.
So, and the voice recognition and stuff. So the Kinect specifically was made by the NSA to spy on American households, similar to the Screen in 1984, if you've read that book. And the NSA basically forced Microsoft to make it, but Microsoft, being the good guys they are... See, conspiracy theorists can't decide whether or not they're like Bill Gates.
They're like, he was bad in 2013. Or actually, he was good in 2013, but in 2020, he got real bad.
Yeah. But
after his divorce, he went downhill a month later.
They purposely botched the launch to protect the American people. So stupid. I love that one. That was really good.
Oh, Jesus.
Have you heard of fan death? Apparently it's bigger in Korea. It's almost an urban legend.
That's what we should do. The next
legends?
conspiracy. theory episode, is we go in depth in conspiracy theories in other countries.
Yeah. Or just urban legends.
Because I know there would be a lot that we wouldn't really understand, and so we'd have to look further into it and like
we can just shit on it.
Force
for an hour and a half.
ourselves to like disprove it.
Yeah.
I'd
That would be
fuck with
cool.
That,
That would
That'd
be
kinda
super
fun.
cool. But so fan death it kind of showed up when the country got electricity and appliances and like electrical fans.
Mhm.
The idea was if you sleep in a room with a fan going and the windows and doors are closed, you'll either end up paralyzed or dead. And it's either...
Damn, bro, I should be definitely dead.
Yeah. So it's either from something with the electricity, like the electrical field, or my favorite, asphyxiation. The fan blows all the oxygen away from you, and when you're sleeping, you're getting less oxygen, and it kills your organs.
Yeah, have you ever put your head out of a car window while you're driving?
Exactly.
It's hard to breathe.
No, I'm here. I'd be dead if I did.
You get hereditaried.
Yeah. Conk. I thought that one was interesting just because it was from a different country.
It's kind of
Nixon hired Stephen King to kill John Lennon.
What the fuck?
So there was a picture of Stephen King and the actual killer. I forgot his name. And they look similar. They both wear glasses. They both had kind of features, similar features during that time period. Which, holy shit, is Stephen King old?
Yeah, dude.
But they covered it up. Even the car accident that got him out of the public space for a little bit was part of the cover-up.
You know, I want to be honest.
And they framed this other guy.
Nixon wasn't able to hide shit.
I know! I know! If we can figure out Watergate, an actual perpetrated scandal that was extremely well hidden.
If he's gonna fuck up Watergate, he's not hiding John Lennon's death, bro.
And you'd think he would like say, "Hey, get the attention off me. Stephen King killed John Lennon."
And Stephen King, he's a fucking real one, man. He's a weirdo.
He knows cocaine,
but he's a
for
real
sure.
one. Like that
I
dude.
I
don't. If I'm being honest, I don't think Stephen King of any writer would be like, yeah, I'm gonna get
I'll be
in
a
on
contract
this
killer.
fucking government sneaky bullshit.
No, I like.
Why the fuck
He's
would
a bit of a
anybody
bro.
believe that somebody that's releasing like almost two books a year?
When did he have time for that? When he was on cocaine, he would do once a month.
Yeah, dude.
Full
Like
length
the amount
books.
of books that he's shitting out. Why the fuck would you like? If you were Nixon, you'd be like, okay, someone who's really good at just shitting out information. Let's make them kill somebody.
Yeah.
Like, no, that would be the dumbest shit since Watergate.
It's crazy. I love reading interviews about that time period in his life when he was on a lot of cocaine with Stephen King now. Because he's like, yeah, I went on a bender with my wife or whatever, and I wrote an entire novel, and I had to reread it, and I didn't remember writing it at all, and it was the darkest novel I've ever written.
It's
like,
insane.
holy shit. That dude is gripped by the siren.
I'm
There's
sure.
something going
I'm
on.
sure everybody already knows this, and I'm sure you already know this. But like, he had to create his pseudonym because his publisher was like, "We cannot release any more fucking books right now under the Stephen King name." And so it was, what was it, Richard Buchanan?
Something
Not
like
Richard
that,
Buchanan.
not-
Something weird. But he had to create a pseudonym
Just
so that
to
he could
release
shit
more
out
books.
more books that he just had. He was constantly writing. And those books were winning awards alongside Stephen King books. And then it came out and it was like, oh, shit, yeah, they are the same person. And he's like, yeah, sorry.
I had to, like,
God damn.
crazy ass dude.
I wish I could get that dedicated to fucking anything.
Yeah.
God
All right, last one, because I need to pee.
Yeah.
And
I
it's
need
a
to
long
go to
episode,
fucking
sorry.
Sleep.
The CIA organized Pearl Harbor to get the U.S. into the war. Now, hear me out. The president and Congress at the time were very publicly saying, this is real. We're very publicly like, we don't want to enter the war because their constituents were like, we don't want to enter the war. At the same time, you know, they're in the Great Depression, and they definitely knew that getting into war will get your country out of a depression.
Yeah.
Like, it is great for the economy to go to war.
Yeah, creates a fuck ton of jobs.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you look at Pearl Harbor, despite the fact that a huge portion of the Navy was there, it was underarmed, underdefended, and honestly just sitting ducks to have every ship come in, just about every ship come in to do, like, repairs and shit. Idiot move. If anybody with any kind of strategy around that, knowing that the Japanese were within range of Hawaii, would do rotating repairs, not have a huge bulk of the force show up and just all do repairs, which means they're not staffed as well, they're not necessarily armed as well. The idea is that the plan to go in and do those repairs and shit were leaked by the CIA to the Japanese, while the president worked with the military to kind of make sure they would get hit hard but not lose too much life, just enough to make it into like a way to get into the war.
Yeah, enough to fuck up and like radicalize American people.
Yeah. Can you think of any ways that this would be disproven? Because honestly,
I don't know, I'm really fucking tired.
Well, you go. All right.
Yeah.
Well, for one, the CIA didn't exist yet.
Oh, yeah, Jesus Christ.
Like, the OSS didn't even exist yet. The closest thing they had
true.
was the Office of Naval Intelligence, who was the Navy that got attacked.
They were in on it.
The Navy was in on it. The guys who got attacked.
Yeah. They were like, we can lose 49 ships.
Yeah. All right, so let's get through this exit quick. Cool. I'll start.
Fuck.
Hey, thanks for listening. I know
Yeah.
this was a long episode and a goofy episode.
God
A
damn.
little different from
Yeah,
what we
it was
normally
very
talk
long.
about.
Should have taken half of those.
I really should have.
Made it into
I
a
thought
part
we'd go
2.
through it quicker, but we had some good conversations, and that's the problem.
I mean, it did.
can
It,
never
it
tell.
was like 30 minutes of exposition before we got
Oh,
into
yeah, that
anything.
too. We ranted. So I'll do my part real quick. Patreon.com/pointsopressure. You can also just type in pressure points, and we show up first.
Yeah, I
Which
think
is
we're
really
like,
cool.
Yeah, we're up there on there.
So we've got the board. They make the decisions around here. We've got Mini D, Toddle Waddle, and Weston. They get the merch that comes with that and all sorts of fun shit. And they are allowed to send us pictures of their genitals.
Yes.
Wait.
We're just saying it's on the table.
Yeah, it's
not.
allowed.
It's not required.
No, not at all. Not at all. No. And then, of course...
Those jokes will change when we start getting more board members.
Yeah, that's true. And, not male board members.
Not male board members that we know.
So, yeah, that we know. Then, of course, we've got Abby, AJ's third nut, Thomas, Dark Runner, D's Nuts, and Lara Revo. Thank you guys so much for, supporting us, letting us go camping. I mean,
it wasn't really.
it
on
wasn't
your
at
dime,
all. But
you're helping us grow. We've seen
definitely.
massive growth this
season has
just
been
this
crazy.
season has been fucking wild.
we've
and
almost doubled numbers this season.
It is 100% attributed to you guys. Thank you so fucking much. It's crazy. And if you aren't subscribed on Patreon, as always, and like I said at the start of the episode, if you blanked out, here it is at the end. We do an exclusive episode, an extra one per month. If you aren't sick of us and you want to hear us one extra time, by all means subscribe. That's available at all tiers. All of our content is available at all tiers. We have Sloppy Seconds, which is just AJ and I
so far
bullshitting around. We have like 20 plus of those. AJ has his Voices series that he's working on. And I think we have like a walkthrough of The Office.
Yeah, we've got a couple things. I think we made alcohol ones.
Yeah, there's some cool
Just
little
some
shit on
random
there.
shit on
Check
there.
it out. Like I said, click around on there. If you can't afford it, don't feel any pressure to subscribe. But the traffic there definitely helps us out. And as always, if you guys ever have any TV shows, music, movies, books, articles, memes, any kind of recommendation or something that you find interesting that you want to send to us, send it along. And if you have show ideas, I do have a few things queued up from some of you. I will be getting to it, I promise. Yugoslavia has just taken up a lot of my time, but I'm bringing that up a little bit better. So I will be getting to some of those things. But yeah, by all means, reach out to us on Instagram at points_pressure, or feel free to email us at ppdnaj@gmail.com, and we will catch you bad bitches next Monday.